So, if you're watching this, then you've made it through all the way of part 1 of Test Site Disaster. It's been unpredictable, and I figured I'd make this small segment as to give a little bit of context for my video. Please leave in the comments. I think I want to do some more of my interaction with my audience because I kind of want to know what y'all are looking for. Mainly this site's going to be dictated by me, but it's still important to see what y'all think because y'all are my fans. And let me know if last video you felt kind of had a little bit of a clickbait vibe going on, or if you thought the title was misleading. But we ended up, as context, we ended up trying to test my bumper, and things went south. And we'll get more into that, have more filler content to explain more, and just keep watching. And we're going to show you how to. There's pros and cons to this situation. I'm going to I know it looks bad from the clip I showed you guys at the end of the part 1, but I can turn it into a positive. And sometimes things don't always go as planned when you're traveling, so that's a note, you know. And you gotta kind of keep that in mind and be able to adjust accordingly and go with the flow of however the adventure goes, and sometimes do some out of the box thinking. So what I'm going to do is we got some new gear, so that's a plus for this bad situation. And I'm going to show you how to with this gear. Hopefully it'll save you a whole lot of money. You don't have to go out and buy a $400 winch, that's probably what some of you guys are posting in the comments. But I got a slightly cheaper alternative for you to get, and I think that after yesterday's events, it is a very necessary piece of equipment that you'll need when off-roading. But I'm going to show you guys how to retrieve your Jeep if it's stuck in like a real rough place. You're going to have to do a little bit of out of the box thinking, but if I can do it, you can too. And that's what we're going to be covering here today, step by step. Alright, so instead of using a winch, which will probably be starting at about $200, I got one of these bad boys. Cable puller, 2.5 ton, for about 25 bucks. It's not too bad. It really ain't bad. I bought 2. So in total it's going to be like $50 plus, your tax. I bought 2 of these because, give or take, my Jeep probably weighs, let's say with the tires and the new bumper and everything, probably about 3.5, something like that, 3,500 pounds, something like that. So I bought 2 to take the stress off of just this one. I'll also let you know that the cable I use for this retrieval project, but all in all, the cable, the hooks, the bolts used to fasten the cable, which I'm going to get into that, all in all, that cost 100, taxes and everything, cost around maybe 170 bucks. So that sure beats the heck out of going to the store and buying a $400 winch that has a pulling capacity of 4,000, 5,000 pounds, something like that. And so it says a 2.5 cable puller. Pulling capacity is about 5,000 pounds, so that's what you get out of this bad boy right here. That's pretty good for $25. I definitely say that this is worth it. If you're going to be doing some off-roading, you probably do better than I have, but I've made quite a few mistakes. This allows you to make more mistakes, which, it's inevitable. Everybody's going to slip up some point in time. And so if you have one of these bad boys and some cable, which I want to get into, in the back, I think you'll be pretty good to go. On to the cable. Alright, I apologize, guys. In the last little segment I told y'all wrong. It is not a chain, it's a cable. It's interwoven steel. There's 3/8 of it right here. 3/8 and anything up, I think you could pull just about any Jeep up, unless it's like one of the larger, you know, special models or extended cab, something like that. You know, I don't know how I do with like one of the bigger diesel trucks, stuff like that, but smaller off-road vehicles, you're set with 3/8 of an inch interwoven steel and up. You're probably wondering what these are, and you know, this comes with the package deal, but these are U-bolts right here. You see how this, you know, this bolt's coming off? It loosens it up, and then I can pull it up, and then I can pull this off instead of, like, you know, clamping it down like that. And I can move it, you know, either up or down. And see that loop right there? You know, that's to make the loop smaller. I can hook that hook in there, wrap this cable around, and I can run that hook through there, and then, you know, there you go, it's good and tight, and then you can start pulling something out. Where I'm at, I am 50, you know, plus feet away from the nearest tree to help assist pulling me out. So occasionally you're gonna have to make that loop smaller. You want you want you know, I guess initially pulling the Jeep out, you're wanting that as least slack as you can get, you know, as little slack as you can get. Plus, you know, that just the smaller the loop, the more cords you got, you know, the more the more cable you got to deal with, you know, get to work with. So, and you know, distance is everything. Where I'm 55 feet away from the nearest tree, I'm going to be needing all of this that I can get, you know, just to get, you know, so I can wrap around, you know, to probably my back axle, so I can even begin to start pulling it out. You know, but for whatever reason, or if you want to, I guess, you know, take less stress, you might want to make that loop bigger, you know, when you get it further on up off, you know, out from wherever you need it winched from. So yeah, I don't know if I did the best job explaining that. You'll get to see these bad boys in action though pretty soon. Any questions though, if you just need me to run through and talk about it again, I will. I can make another video. You know, feel free to post in the comments what you think. But the hooks, all the U-bolts, the cable, the 55 foot of cable. I know this don't look like 55 feet here. There's more of it in the Jeep and the 2000. And but all that for about 170, so that's not a bad price. But yep, you want 3/8 of an inch or higher of interwoven steel right there for your cable to help pull you out. You're gonna need some U-bolts, because you just need these loops, you know, to kind of intertwine the cable, give it something to hook onto, you know, something for the hook to hook onto, you know, that'll fasten it in there and help it pull it out. U-bolts and a hook, all that for around 170, so that's not bad. And keep watching, we're getting ready to go retrieve it. Loading up our equipment, and then we're going to be heading out and grabbing it. Let's see how they're coming along. So here's all our supplies. We're about ready to head out. We got the cable over 3/8 of an inch, probably thicker. Tool bag, a broken chair, of course, because, you know, who doesn't want one of those? We got the 2 come-alongs right there, and a little bit of rope just in case. We're about to head on out into the land that time forgot. So this is going off of if the low light is picking up this or not. I think it is. It's kind of I'm taking a gamble here. It might not record all this at all. It might just be all shadowy junk footage that I cannot use. And not to change subject, but man, that tree is huge. I don't know if you guys can see it. Hopefully the low light's picking it up, and the lights of the 2000. We're taking the 2000 here in the land that time forgot. Look at that huge tree. Who knows how old that is? That you don't see it much like that. Everything's like been logged out around where I'm at. So it's like you got like these thin little saplings, which is good. But like occasionally, you know, it's rare seeing one of those big, huge, thick, you know, oaks. Sorry if that's the wrong tree. It looks like an oak to me. So here we are in the land that time forgot. We're probably gonna have to walk it from here. Yeah, we're gonna have to walk it from here, guys. That's the tree again. That's the tree I took down earlier.
We might rework it even still when we get back.
Yeah.
Because if we can run through them side to side, that would be good. Put more stress on. Is that deep mud hole?
Nah, that's not it.
Mm-hmm.
Nope. That's because of the way the land is. That's nothing compared to.
Yeah.
My Jeep would actually eat that. It would think that was a good snack. Yeah.
Well, the road just goes into a bank, and then you bottom one out, you know?
Yeah.
That's one problem. Come on.
Man, I take my hat off to the cameras on some of these shows, the cameramen on some of these shows, because it is not easy to walk. No. Look where I'm walking, and keep this picture stable. And when I play it back, it's probably going to be shaky as all get out. Yeah, I did that. Right. That was all me.
Well, this is not.
No, this isn't where I went down. This is earlier. We're going to have to go through a thicket up ahead, like a thick tunnel up ahead of trees. But yeah, we did that yesterday.
What could have got? What's that called?
I don't know, because the only thing that it would have had trouble with is that huge deep rut. That's one heck of, I know it don't look like it, but it's a big deep mud rut.
Yeah.
And when if we have to make another trip back, because I think, don't we have a couple of other supplies back, or do we have everything we need right here?
We should have everything we do.
All right. Well, if we take when we walk back, I'll show you that, and we'll put the camera on that mud rut so you can get a better look at it. It's bigger than that right there.
Oh.
It's like maybe half, like another 1.5 feet deep.
Is that the end of this run?
Yep. Got something crawling on my face. There we go. Yeah. Yeah, it's here. Thank God. Nobody's stolen.
Okay, hold on. Everything goes right here.
Yeah.
Everything. your stuff down.
Alright. So that's where I went down at. I know you can see it on the other clip, but I'm gonna walk in there here in just a second and get you a better idea. But first we need to look at the tree that we're gonna attach the come along to.
Right there. There's the pump. Right there's the Jeep. See, that's right there.
Yeah.
That's right there. That's big enough to do it.
Yep.
Alright, right there.
So we got one of the come alongs hooked to the cord right here. This is the crash site, guys, in its entirety. And I'll try and walk down there where you can see it's more swampy down there, but we got it on the back axle. Hang on just a second. I'm gonna walk down there so you can see. Sorry for the shaky camera. It's not easy to film. Right here. So here it sets on the back axle. You see the U-bolts right there. Tied it into itself. That the cord hooks to the come along. We're going to use 2 of them to get this bad boy out, so one won't take all the strain. But it's 5,000 pounds, and I don't think this is quite 5,000 pounds, so I think we're good. A little bit more on the crash site. You can see how thick it is. Yeah, we were, as you'll deduce, and I'll try and do some more, I guess give a little bit more of explanation, more filler to it, because it's almost like jumbled up scenes. But we were just testing the brush guard, of course, because that's what I said in my previous video. Things just kind of went a little bit south, and this right here appeared flat to me, and I know you can't see it the camera, the way the camera, it bends the light, so it looks pretty flat probably right now, but this is a pretty good slanted slope. And that right there where I'm wiggling the light, that's where I came over, and I thought, this is all flat area and this would be perfect for mowing some brush, and it's not. It's an inclined slope / swampland, and it's pretty solid right here, but there's a huge hole right where I'm standing. Crazy hole. And then here's where it gets all swampy. You can see that those are 35s. Of course, I know I'm retelling you information you already know about my Jeeps from previous vids, but just back at that, it's going back to that. Those are 35, so it's pretty deep down in there. It's no joke for sure. And it's a creek that feeds a large lake, and all this is just kind of grassy, thickety swampland. Not really, a little bit out of my league for the brush guard, because it's just all mud and muck and high grass. So yep, you can see at this angle kind of more of the incline of the slope that we're dealing with here, and we're going to pull it out here soon, hopefully get it out of this mess. And then I'll go into more detail, and you'll know how to retreat. It looks bad, but you'll know how to retrieve your vehicle from a quite the crash site. One more pan around to the camera. Alright, and I'm going to get back to it. So here's where we've had to kind of cut down, stomp out. We got it tied to that poplar tree right there. That's the cable. That's the hook. We've wrapped it around a couple of times. It's good. It's fastened on there real good. Good and stable. We've got, it's important when you do this that you get all the slack out of it that you can. And make sure it's hooked to something solid on your Jeep. I done showed you we got it on the back axle. You see there's not that much slack in that line right there. So that, you know, that tree's gonna stabilize us back there, what it's hooked to. And now we're just gonna winch the fire out of it. It's easy, and I'll do a more thorough explanation after this. But it's basically self-explanatory. It's nothing that you need to be afraid of. You just crank that right there, and it tightens. And you know, we're just gonna keep on cranking it, and it should pull my Jeep out from the predicament that it's in. So I'm pleased to say, after a long night of pulling, adjusting the U-bolts to give slack or to take away slack with the come-alongs, we finally got it out of the hole. I know it don't look too much like much because the camera takes away the incline the way it bends, but we got it, we did it. And the only reason why I hadn't backed it out any further is because I wanted to show you guys right quick. Before we got it completely out. But we got it out. It was stuck in right there. You could probably tell from the other footage, but its bumper was resting where the grass was. The wheel was pretty deep down in there. I'm gonna walk on this little bank right here. Just give y'all one more good final look. There it is. Bumper, everything seems to be in place. We're going to do some more checks on it when we get back to the house, but we got it. We finally got it. We had to dig a little bit. The come-alongs did a great job. I still recommend them. I mean, they were only 25 bucks a piece. We used 2, and I don't know, you can see where the dirt's, that's mainly where the tire's thrown it, but that gash right there, if you can see that, the frame was stuck on the bank, and that's one of the main reasons why it couldn't get up, is because it was just a huge part of the frame was wedged on the bank. So we dug out the frame a little bit, and then it was able to back on up and pull on out of there. And so when we transition into the next scene, which will just be like, you know, a finger snap, I'm gonna go over one more time the come-alongs, how to use them. You know, the U-bolts tightening and creating slack and tightening up. It's nothing to be afraid of, nothing to worry about. It's easy. I did it, so if I can do it, you certainly can do it. And we'll do that, and then we'll probably be wrapping up this video. But I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you laughed your butt off when I on with the footage where I just basically wrecked it. I thought all this was flat and was just gonna mow it down for the because it's, you know, brush. It'd be perfect to mow down with my brush guard. That bumper would eat it right up, no problem. But it turns out there was a huge hill. So another adventure tip from Austin, learning from my mistakes, is make sure you know for sure your surrounding areas if you're gonna go off-roading, or else you could be stuck pulling an all-nighter getting a Jeep out. And that's a decent enough note to end on. And when we come back to the lab, we're going to be messing on with the come-alongs, and I'll do a quick run through them, and then we'll conclude this video. Hope you enjoyed it so far. And we made it. It's time to head home, guys.